Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Achilles Twins Travel Show. You are listening to the local series where we talk about the country and its culture with locals. And in this episode, we'll be talking about Trentino-Alto Adige. Trentino is located in the north part of Italy, in the heart of Italian Alps. The area is famous for the mountains with ski resorts and amazing summer views. This region has more than 300 castles with picturesque backgrounds and settings. And our guest today is David Zwerger. Hi, David. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, yeah. How are you doing?
Great. It's the morning couldn't be better right now to start with you guys. So it's a pleasure to meet you here.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, David, could you please talk about yourself a little bit?
Of course, yeah. I'm I'm David, by the way. I'm 24 years old, and I'm coming from the northern part from Italy. It's actually
Yeah.
called the province Trentino-Alto Adige. It's in Italian, and it has a little bit some history as well. Like that's why it's not just Trentino-Alto Adige. It's South Tyrol in English and Südtirol in German. It's a little bit complicated, but maybe we are coming back to this topic later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm German speaking as well, so German speaking Italian, and I'm graphic designer, freelancer a little bit as well, but I'm living and working 3 months per year in Switzerland, working and managing for a hotel in a skiing resort. But mostly, I would say like 80% in the year in my life right now, I'm traveling the world because I'm really curious to explore different places, cultures, and people as well.
Wow, sounds like a dream life.
I could not complain to be honest, but of course there are always up and downs. It's I think with everybody as well in general. So even traveling makes sometimes troubles, but
Oh,
to be
yeah.
honest,
Mm-hmm.
it's the most of the part is really great. So yeah, I'm happy that achieved that right now, but I know it's always changing. So I have to be yeah, focus what I do
Yeah,
and appreciate what I have.
right. Okay, from what you told us the other day about the northern part of Italy, the language is different, the people look different. So could you please talk about that and explain how come
Trentino is different from.
yeah, Trentino is different from the rest of Italy?
Yeah. So to be honest, we have to go back like 100 years ago. It was part of Austria-Hungary, like the small, if you can say, empire, but it's not actually the right term. And but like until 1919, it was part of Austria. So after the First World War, um, it became part of Italy. Like actually, Hitler gave it to Mussolini, and
Mm-hmm.
so this part was different because it was not Italian speaking at all. They had different traditions, they had different rules, and a different language, of course. And so to keep it short, the thing is there was always some misleading in this region because they didn't accept this minority, like our minority, the Italian government. So they tried to Italianize this region and putting some other Italian, like from Sicily, for example, Calabria, Napoli, in this region to make it more Italian. So they offered those people, for example, tax-free, free accommodation or free apartments,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, to make this region Italian. It didn't work at all because yeah, my for example, my ancestors, my grandpa was part of that community as well. There was one day, I think in the late 50s or 60s, where they made a kind of a terrorist attack on the electricity towers. So they capped actually electricity for Milan because all the electricity went to Milan. And yeah, so the European population or community got an eye on it, you know. So they knew, okay, what's happening. So we got our autonomy. We are still, of course, part of Italy, and to be honest, my opinion, I'm proud of it. But we're different in a way of still of the culture of the language. So our dialect, which is not an official language, is the main language we speak. It's different from village to village or valley to valley. So that's why we have to speak in the official TVs, in the newsletter, or in school German and Italian. And there's a third language, is Latin. It's a Roman language, but to be honest, I don't speak that. It's a little bit difficult. Yeah,
Wow.
it's even a smaller minority.
Ah, I see. Yeah, when I met you first time in a hostel in Turkey, I thought you are Australian. Especially your hair. You were
Yeah.
looking like a surfer.
Yeah, that's yeah. Of course, right now, like I mean, I was growing my hair a little bit because
Hmm.
during traveling as well, so it's kind of my style. But most of the people they are not like blonde as me. So they're like a mix, as I said, like not as in the southern part in Italy, of course, but as in the northern, they could be from Milan, they could be from Bologna. So you don't see it immediately, but as soon as they speak, you know that there's a little bit of difference. So people apologize, like they see that there's, or they hear at least that there's a difference between a real Italian, I would say, and us. I mean, we are real Italians too, but we had this history, so our
Hmm.
ancestors are not from this place. Yeah.
Oh, I see. And your English is so good. And other people
Thank you very
in
much.
Trentino, they also speak English well.
Yeah, I hope nobody is hearing this podcast, otherwise, I'm getting some troubles because I would say, yeah, it is okay. It is definitely okay.
Hmm.
Like there are some people, like of course, they go to university or they lived or traveled in another place as well in the world. So they speak decent as well. And but that's the thing. Especially older people, or my parents, or like grandparents, they don't speak English at all. They
Oh.
sometimes they even don't speak German or Italian, so they just speak the dialect. Especially like older, not my parents, because they're just living in the mountains, so they never left the valley, they never left the region. So why of course do they need to speak another language? They don't. But the younger generation is moving, and I see that there is a huge change in the future as well. So they are getting a little bit open minded. They
Hmm.
are Im- yeah, improving their English as well, because I mean, of course, it's a work language. It's important for like for personal aspects and professional. So yeah, like in general, it's okay for tourism, yes, but if you go deeper, it's a little bit difficult.
Uh-huh. You told us the place where you were born and raised, only 3,000 people live there.
Exactly.
Is it village or a little town? What is that?
No, it's a village. It's definitely a
It's a
village.
village.
Like as I said, like 3,000 people, two dogs and one cat. So it's quite it's quite tiny. So it's good and it's bad. I see it more as good because if you have any troubles, if you need some help with everything,
Hmm.
you get it. You definitely get it. So you get the support. Even if you're growing up, like you have some really strong relationship with friends, with family, with neighbors. But of course, if you do something, I mean, something else, something maybe
Yeah,
stupid,
something
or
wrong.
maybe you kissed a girl, something wrong,
Yeah.
yeah, or even not wrong for me, for you, but so everybody knows it the next day. So there is some privacy, but not
Yeah, it's
as in, yeah,
yeah.
as in a big city, of course.
And what's the name of that village?
The Italian name is Termeno sulla strada del vino, and
Wow.
the German name is Tramin an der Weinstraße. That means like
Oh.
Tramin is the town, and an der Weinstraße or sulla strada del vino means on the wine street, because it starts from
Oh,
our
yeah.
capital going like along my village as well, and it's full of grapes and vineyards, so it's
Mm.
really famous for that, I would say.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm curious how your dialect is different from Italian. Can you say something in your dialect and in Italian? Maybe something like "How are you?"
Yeah, like for example, come stai? Tutto a posto? Mi chiamo David, abito a Termeno, tipo al nord dell'Italia.
Hmm.
And in my dialect, I would say, Hoi grüß dich, ich bin der David und ich komme aus dem Nordental von Italien, wo man eben einen eigenen Dialekt spricht, deswegen ist es ein bisschen unterschiedlich von Italienischen. That's actually my dialect.
Oh, sounds more like German.
It sounds more like German, yeah. I have to be honest, my dialect is actually different from my friends and from especially from my grandpa and from my father, because they, of course, they live at home. I left Italy in this case of living 6 years ago, so I use a lot of English and a lot of German terms. I know what it means, like the basic, the local language words, but I don't use them anymore. So that's why some people understand me better than my friends.
Okay, how to get there? I mean to the province Trentino-Alto Adige. Adige, sorry.
Adige, yeah. No, it's worse. That was actually a good question because I was hearing it many times. It is a small, yeah, hidden place, I would say, where like which not many people know, because we have an airport, but it's actually not functional as usual in Italy. So yeah, it's. I mean, you could do it, but it's really expensive. So the best way is, or you go, for example, from Munich in Germany, you take a train, or you go from Zurich and take a train, or you go from Milan. That's the best option. Milano, Bergamo, Malpensa, or Verona. It depends, of course, where you're coming from. But if you're going from Milan, you reach out in about 3 hours my capital, or our capital. But the best thing I always recommend for people who are coming in this region is renting a car or driving in by car, because it's a really like it's in the middle, it's in the center of the Alps, so it's really hard to get around. We have a quite okay transportation, but you're not so flexible, of course, as you would be with a car. So that's why, like by plane, it's not possible. So you have to search around this region, which the nearest one is 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, I can only imagine how beautiful that is because I've seen some pictures. It's so green, like a Switzerland.
It is yeah, we say as well, it's a small Switzerland, or yeah, or Switzerland is is a large South Tyrol.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you greet each other there? What do you say?
That's the thing, like as we are like people with 3 different official languages, we greet as different. I mean, there's Bondi. Bondi is the Latin language, which is actually just spoken by 5% in the population. Ciao or salve, it's in Italian. And Hola, grüß, it's in my dialect. So we don't greet each other in German, so we have the own dialect, of course. But it depends with whom you're speaking. And the common way is to give a hug, the hand, or especially in Italian culture, we give 3 kisses, start by left, right, left, or right, left, right.
Man and man, or how?
Yeah, as well. Like man and man, man and woman, woman and woman. It's actually common. I mean, in Italy they do it twice. We do it 3 times. Please don't ask me
Okay.
why, because I don't know it. So yeah.
Okay. What would be the universal hi? So, for example, if I go there, what can I say?
So like everybody speaks Italian, or nearly everybody, but not everybody speaks German. The bigger population is still like 60% is this dialect, like German speaking. So if you say hi, it's actually an international word. So
Okay.
we will not make it do something wrong, because everybody understands like you want to greet somebody. But even we as dialect speaker, we say ciao to each other too, even if it's an Italian word. So if you say ciao, you are not wrong at all.
Okay.
So ciao or hi, yeah,
I see.
or hola.
So you said in your province there are some vineyards. You make wine, produce wine, right? And any other things that that province is known for?
Yeah. The thing is, it's pretty small, to be honest. It's pretty small, so you can go from north to south like in around an hour, a little bit more. So it's really small. Sometimes you just go through and even don't notice it. But in this province, like in every valley, they have a different thing they are known for. For example, in my area, it's known for the grapes, like for wine, and apples. It's full of apples, different kind of apples. There is another part in the province, in the region, which is known for potatoes. Another one for strawberries. Another one for wood, for example, like carvings and this stuff. So every valley actually has its own special thing, I would say. So that's why it's different from, or like rice too. We have some rice, not so much. Some corn. So yeah. But the most of the stuff is like apples and grapes.
I've read another thing that is quite popular there about the Egetmann Carnival. You celebrate.
Yeah, that's yeah. Oh wow, am I surprised that you know about that? That's yeah, that's nice to hear.
It's really different from what we have in Tajikistan, or I've never seen anything like that. So could you please talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's I think it's like it's getting part of the
Oh,
World Heritage culture, because it goes back to 1500 something, or
1591.
1591, yeah. Okay, you know it better
Yes, I
than
did
me.
some research.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. So it started with that. Like, it goes about one person. Okay, the topic is this one person. Yeah, it's a figure, but it's not real, you know. It's fictive. So, and this guy, we call it Egetmann Hansel. He's the star. He's the main star from this carnival ceremony. It is actually his wedding. So we have many cars around. Like, for example, there are some shoemakers. There are some fishers. Like, I'm part from the fisher, for example. There are some other, like, completely different kind of stuff. Like, I think in total 34 different cars, we say. And so it's kind of the ceremony. Like, we start around, to be honest, we start on Thursday. Like on Thursday, on a green Thursday, I think it's called. So we celebrate actually like every day until the next Tuesday, like the following Tuesday. It goes around 5 days.
Like 5 days.
5 days, exactly. And the last day there is this ceremony, but every 2 years. So for example, the next one, now we have 21. This year, due to COVID, it wasn't. It didn't happen. So it's in again. The next one is in 2023. And the next one 2025. So always the irregular numbers. I don't know exactly why that's it, but yeah. The thing is to get rid of the winter. That's the thing. That's the huge part as well. And to be honest, we celebrate. We just celebrate. We celebrate us. We celebrate the Egetmann Hansel, like this guy. We celebrate the people who are joining us, because at this day, normally it's this village. Can you imagine? Like 3,000 people are living there, but on this day there are around 15,000 people in the village. So it's really crowded. Lucky us, it never happened something bad until now. So I hope we can continue like this. And of course, like there's a lot of alcohol going on too. A lot of party. It starts in the morning around 5, and it ends exactly at midnight. So everybody needs to or should go home at midnight because of religious reason. Of course, it depends. Like how younger people, they don't really care. Oh, sometimes they don't care. Older people, they care a little bit more. So, but we should go, and I respect that as well. It's part of the tradition culture to be at home at midnight before Wednesday. Yeah, but it's like many people think, oh wow, it's like carnival like in Venice, it's carnival like in Rio. Please, I can just say for everybody who wants to go there, go with the clothes you would actually throw away. You would throw away literally, because you will not get back clean. So we throw out everything. We throw out bad fish we cannot sell. So we just use products or things we can really not sell or use anymore. So for example, the fish you cannot eat, you cannot give it to the cat. So we throw it in the people. There's some corn you cannot use. Actually, like years ago, they were throwing eggs too. You say like it's getting crazy in this day, so that's why people are not sometimes used. They're getting sometimes a little bit angry too, because they are coming with the Gucci, with the Armani suit, and that's not a good idea. Because exactly we are going for that people. Yeah.
I see. Oh yeah. They should know before going there.
That's yeah. So please do some research for everybody who's listening to this podcast who wants to go there, or asking me.
Don't wear your favorite shirt or something fancy.
Exactly. Yeah, with holes, with I don't know, bar feet, whatever you want, but not good things, unless you can afford it or you want it.
You know, one more thing surprised me. I read that your pasta is different from Italian pasta. You have something inside. Is that right?
The thing is, like, sometimes there exist pastas, different kind of pastas, because there are so many, of course. And even, for example, I don't know anything about that. For example, in Sardinia, they have a special pasta, or in Napoli, we don't
Mm-hmm.
cook it. So we have our cuisine is a mix. It's a mix between the Austrian, Hungarian cuisine, a lot of the Mediterranean cuisine, of course, and our own. So, for example, the bacon is really famous in my region. But about the pasta, we have a different pasta. Oh, that's a good question. Which actually, I mean, my father and my family likes to cook. I like to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and I never, I was never, asking myself about the different pasta. So that's why it's difficult to answer this question, because it's cooking is I can just boil water, so I'm not the
Mm-hmm.
typical Italian as you would think. Yeah, so I prefer to eat more than to cook.
Yeah, we too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The same with us.
sometimes we need both, you know.
All right. What is the best time to visit Trentino?
The best time. The
Yeah.
the thing with Italy is definitely, I would, if you have the chance and are flexible, avoid the summer month, like that's July, August. So of course it depends what you want to do. As I said, like we have in the southern part a lot of grapes, so it's really nice, hot, warm, with some lakes. So it's more Mediterranean climate. But for example, if you're going to go for a winter wonderland holiday, it's of course I will go for February, maybe March, because in
Mm-hmm.
December, January, everybody's excited to go to for skiing, snowboarding. So it's crowded, the slopes as well. So maybe for winter holiday, I would definitely go for February and March, because there's still a lot of snow. They are not. It's not so crowded anymore, and maybe you get better prices too, because it's shoulder season. Without snow, I would recommend May, June.
Mm-hmm.
May, June is really nice in the not so like in the mountain part, because they're sometimes covered by snow. So more
Mm-hmm.
maybe my village, in my region, go for a hike, like for small walking in the streets in the city. Do some historical stuff, because we have kind of, due to the war situation, we have some historical stuff, of course, too.
Mm-hmm.
And for hiking, definitely late August, really late August, but September is the best. September is it. September is it. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's definitely not crowded. You get easily space in hotels or in mountain huts, and you will enjoy it to the fullest, for sure.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah, it's definitely good to know. Otherwise, like here, it's especially the capital, like the capital city, is really crowded when it's raining or when it's summer, or the Christkindl market, we say, so in December. So that's why I would definitely avoid that. And even for the traffic too, you know, like there's a lot of German, Swiss, Austrian, even Italian people are coming in our region to make the holidays. And some people, they can drive better, some people they can drive not so good. So that's why it's a lot of traffic too.
Yeah, I see. David, anything else you think our listeners should know before visiting that place?
If you have time and if you really want to know this country more, some research, some historical stuff is always good to know why we are what we are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always recommend that. So you're happy when you do the research, you're happy when you do it, and you're happy when you did it. That's my opinion. And if you know some words in Italian, if you know some words in German, you will not do anything wrong. So actually,
Oh,
we're maybe surprised with some Italian skills, some people, even if not everybody speaking Italian. Yeah, we appreciate that as well. I would just say, like, explore it by yourself with the car in the best way, in the best option if you have it, and enjoy the mountains, the wine, the food, the people, and the landscape.
yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Perfecto.
Perfetto, yeah.
Wow, David, thank you so much for taking the time and for sharing about your hometown, the province. Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate that you took the time as well, and we had a great
Mhm.
conversation. And it was really nice to talk with you. You made it really easy for me as well.
Oh, the last question. How people can find you online if they have any questions? Do you have Facebook or Instagram?
I have Instagram actually. I deleted Facebook, but I have Instagram. It's I am David. Yeah, so it's actually quite easy.
I am David. Easy to remember. All right. Thanks a lot, David.
Thank you too. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, you might enjoy the episode about Japan with Yuki. Here's a preview trailer.
I think Japanese people have the personal space between others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we hate being touched by someone and touching someone.
It's the opposite of Latinos and
Yeah,
because they love touching. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why when I was traveling in the Western countries, I was a little bit surprised at how they're greeting and and I was like, oh, are they kissing when they meet?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so like this.